Hello and welcome to part 1 of the colour along of the page Mother of Little Dragon by the artist Mariola Bedeck. Now this particular page that I'm using today I downloaded instantly from Etsy UK, and I do apologise if I'm not pronouncing that right. I normally say Heste or Etsy, and I will post the link underneath and in my description box and it'll take you straight to that video. Now in today's video, if you noticed, if you caught up on my last video, I did say I was going to be also doing a kind of tutorial on how I do Platinum Silverair. So today's going to be the part 1 of the colour along, and it's also going to be a tutorial on how I do the Platinum Silver hair. Now if you look further back in my videos, you will find the skin tutorial. So if you've come to this video and you haven't seen the skin tutorial, please go back and check that out. But since doing the skin tutorial, I've decided to do a full colour along with the picture. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm wanting to do the hair. So it's like a silver platinum hair, and it is like, it kind of looks like it's got a light bluish hue to it, and I thought it looked really nice. The paper I used here is like a cream paper, and this paper's no good. It had too much of a rough tooth and we're eating away at my paper, and I thought it'd look really nice on the brilliant, you know, like your brilliant white paper. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So if you're interested in this colour along and you want to know how to do Platinum Silverair, please keep watching. So today I'm going to be using my Prismacolor Premier pencils, and what I've done is I've been playing around with different types of greys, and to come up with this I have picked the colours. It's going to be 30% warm grey and it's using Prismacolor Premier pencils. And the number is 30% warm grey, sorry, PC 1052. And you will just have to excuse this pencil because I have sharpened both ends by accident. So the next colour we're going to be using today is the 20% cool grey. And then we're going to be using the 10% cool grey. And then we're going to be using our white. So the numbers for the 20% grey is PC 1060, and for the 10% it's PC 1059. Right, so what we need is we need really sharp pencils to start off with, and we're going to start off with the warm grey. And we're not going to be using too much of an heavy pressure because we want to be building layers. So if we need to put any more layers on top, we can do so. And this picture is quite grayscaled. So where the grayscale is, I'm just lightly in a flicking motion I'm just going to start running the warm grey through these lines where the grayscale is. And I'm also just trying to turn my pencil as I go along to try keep that point sharp, because air does tend to eat your pencils. So we want to be doing it lightly because we want to be blending them other colours along. So I'm just going to do the same. Just at the roots of her hair. So we're going to be covering all this grayscale. Just see if you can see me right. I'm just going to zoom you in so you can see what I'm doing a bit better. So I'm following the direction of the grayscale. So the lines are already in and we're just following it in the direction and covering that grayscale with this warm grey. So as we can see, we've got some grayscale down here, and just again we're gonna lightly fetch it in. So now we've got this top bit done, I'm going to come in with the next colour, and it's the 20% Cool Grey. If you want to spend more time on this video, please do so. I'm just doing this for the tutorial, and I'm trying to do it quicker so I can get the video done for you guys. So with the 20% Cool Grey, we're going to come down from the root of the head, and we're only just we're gonna go over the warm grey we've put down, and we're only slightly going to come in to the middle of the white. And again, my pencil probably will bret throughout this video because I am using Prismacolors, and the minute you put pressure on the paper, they do tend to snap. So same again, we're just fetching this 20% Cool Grey up into the middle, but not too much into the white. We need to leave a white highlight for this, because this is what's going to make the colour, the platinum colour. Then we're going to come in with the 10% grey, and we're just going to do the same again. We're just going to fetch it in. You'll have to excuse my pencils snapping, they tend to do, especially when I've just sharpened them, But I'm just going to try keep turning my pencil around to keep it sharp as I'm colouring. So I'm just fetching it up. It doesn't have to be really neat. And what we're going to do, once we've got this colour in, I'm just going to fetch it around the crown of her head. Then we're going to get our white pencil, and we're just going to drag. I don't know if you can see that, but once I do sharpen these pencils to a really sharp point, they do tend to snap. It's my sharpener always sharpens them really to a point, and they just end up snapping. So we'll not notice the colour that it's going to be at this point until we start to do the rest of her hair. So we're going to start off with the next colour from the warm grey, which is the 20% Cool Grey. So we're going from middle of that 30% warm grey, and we're just fetching it out. And it's these cool greys what are going to give us the look that we're after. So again, just fetching it out into the middle, but we want to leave a white space. And I'm just going to fetch this darker 20% around her hairline, because her hair would be darker there. So then we're going to come in with a 10% grey. And we're going to start to fill up any gaps where we've put the darker greys and fetch it out into the middle of the white, but we are going to be leaving an highlight. And also this colour will blend out the darker warm grey what we've put down, as will the white. So all as we're doing is we're running our colours over each other and then further into the middle until we get to that white highlight. And then we're going to go really lightly as we come into that white highlight as well, because we want that white to blend it in. So we get our white pencil. Again, you can do this a lot neater than what I'm doing it if you wish. So we're going to use this white pencil and streak everything through the highlight, and it's also going to blend everything together. And again, you can go back and darken areas that you'd wish to do so, if you want to darken these areas around here. But I don't know if you can see that. I'm hoping it's showing up on camera. But this is how I get the Plattman look. And it does kind of look like it's got a very lightish, bluish, like more like an icy, really diluted bluish tone to it, and I really like it. So this is the colour we should be getting, and again just blend it out. So I'm just checking what you guys are seeing. So we're going to do this bit now, and yeah, I'm really liking this colour. I've literally just sharpened my warm grey for this video, and I've sharpened the wrong end by accident, so I'm going to have to be ordering another one of them. So we've already put in the warm grey, so we're just going to go straight to the 20% cool grey. And it's the warm grey with the cool greys that fetch out this colour. I did test with all the cool greys, and the colour would just seem to be off. It were like off. It wasn't fetching a really nice silvery look. It was just looking too blue. So I just experimented around a bit until I got this colour. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm just fetching it from where we've put the darker colour down. And you'll have to excuse my pencil because it has broke, so it's not as sharp. So I'm just trying to do my best. So just at the edge of her hairline as well, I'm just putting a bit of this colour down. And again, I'm just trying to follow the direction of her hair, which you can follow because it's already in grayscale. And then just same with this side, just fetch that colour through the whole grey what we've put down. This is why I say to do light layers, because I am going over my colours. I mean, you can just go halfway over the warm grey if you would prefer, but I like to just go over it for this particular hair that I'm doing. And then again, this little bit at the front, I'm just going to fill in. And like I said, you can go back in and deepen this area up if you would like to, which I probably will. And then we're going to get our white and we're just going to fetch it through. Yep, so as you can see, it's not difficult to do at all. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're still going to get that same effect. Just making sure you leave that highlight. If you've got that highlight of the white, then you've got the effect that you're after. So if you wanted to, you could just go in and just put some more of the warm grey in. So we've got our warm grey down here where we've left off. So we're just going to fetch some of the warm grey up from the bottom where the plait starts. And they don't have to be all matching. You can have some flicks longer than the other. It makes it look more realistic. If you just follow that grayscale, what's already in the picture. So then we're going to go in with the 20% cool grey. And I'm just fetching it over everything. I just prefer to do that. And then again, we're just going to fetch the 10% cool grey and leave a little bit of an highlight. And what I normally do is I just carry on and do my hair, and then if there's any areas that I need to darken up at the end, then I will go back over and do them. So again, I'm just giving you a rough idea of how I do it, rather than me taking my time doing this picture. I don't want to be here for hours on end, just, you know, taking my time and being a lot slower. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our white, but I would definitely recommend just to, if you're doing it, if you're following this and you haven't done it before and you want it to look a bit neater, to just definitely maybe not do it as quick as what I'm doing it. And if you're used to doing hair anyway, then just go ahead. I'm just gonna, there we go. Right, seeing if you can see this plait. Yep, it's still in view. So again, we've already got the grayscale down, so I'm just going to go over the lines. And I'm just again turning my pencil because I'm trying to keep my edge sharper. It does tend to eat your pencils because you have to keep your pencils sharp and you're forever sharpening them. And my sharpener, it's the Swordfish one. It's just this one. I don't know if you can see that. It's just the manual one, and it does go to a sharp point, so the minute I put any pressure on, it just snaps the end off of my pencil. So I'm just following the lines that are already in this picture, which makes it really easy where we want our dark colour to go and where we want our highlight to go, because it is already in the picture for us. So if you're not really good with hair, grayscales are really good for practicing on, especially these ones, because the lines are in and you know where you want your highlight to be in your dark colours. So then we're going to go in with the 20% grey, and I'm just going to sharpen this up a bit because it is a bit too blunt. And again, it just snaps straight away. So you will have to excuse me, keep snapping my pencils. So with these little bits, we have got less space to work and put down our darker colour. So just be mindful that we need to leave this highlight in the middle of each plait. So I'm just slightly running the colour through. Just over everywhere we've put that warm grey down. But yeah, I really do like the look of this colour. I thought it were a bit different. Right, so once we've got our 20% down, we can go back over everything with the 10%. And we're just going to make sure to leave that white highlight. And you might want to use a sharper pencil than me. If your sharpener's better than mine, and when you go to put your pressure on your pencil, if your Prismacolors are not snapping, I'd definitely recommend to keep your pencil sharp. And then we're just going to fetch that white in. And I'm just trying to blend it all out with this white as well. So then we're going to come in with our warm grey, and we're just going to start to run it down this grayscale on her area. And I would imagine this would be a dark area of her hair as well. So I'm just going over all the areas of grayscale what is already in, which we've got a lot around underneath her ear. So we're just going to put that in. And then just drag this warm grey down. So this area might be a little bit darker than, say, this area because there's a lot of grayscale. So what I'm going to do is come in with the 20% cool grey, and I'm just going to run it again throughout that warm grey what I've put down. And we're just going to leave a little highlight here. I'm just going to fetch the warm grey up. So we're just fetching that up into the white to meet the warm grey what we've just put down, and then just get that 20% cool grey in a flicking motion and just put some in, and then we're going to leave an highlight again. So we're going to go in with the 10% and just fetch that 10% further into the white highlights. Then we're going to get our white and we're going to go and do the same as what we did before, and we're going to blend it through everything. So in some areas, her hair is going to appear darker, but try to leave as many highlights in the highlighted area as you can, because we do want this effect at the top. We don't want it all to look too dark. So I'm just going back over the areas where I've put the warm grey down. So I'm going to put a little bit there and just run it through the rest of the grayscale So we have got a lot of grayscale in the strands of her hair as we're coming down. Let's see what you can see. So I'm going to zoom you out a bit so you can see what I'm doing. So then we're going to go with the 20% and we're just going to fetch it down. And just try to leave highlights where you can. So just try to go over that warm grey. And follow that direction of the air. So we've put some grey down here and we're going to follow it. Again, you can take your time doing this, you don't have to do it as quick as me. You can do it a lot neater. I definitely would recommend to take your time doing it as well, because you'll probably get more of a nicer effect. So we're going to go in with the 10% now. And just start to fetch some of this 10% in the highlights we've left, but leave some highlights. And then I'm putting a bit of a pressure on with this white pencil just to blend everything in. And if you've missed anywhere where you haven't put the warm grey or any of the other colours, just go back in and put that in. Like I've missed some bits down here, which I will be doing. And again, if you wanted to go in and darken some areas. But at the minute I'm wanting to get that white through the bits that I have done. So we've put some of the warm grey. So we're going to go with that 30% warm grey and we're going to start flicking it up to meet where we've put the other warm grey. I'm hoping I'm explaining this properly for you guys. I am just trying to do it pretty quick because I don't want to be having you watching a really long video, because I know it can get a bit tedious. So we've got that grey in, we're going to go with the 20%. And again, leave some highlight. We're going to go with the 10%. and then just drag that white through everything. And the white does lighten everything up what we've put down. That's why I would suggest to go with light layers. And if you hear any noise in the background, it's just my partner, he's just come in. Let's close this door a bit. So again, like I said before, we can go in afterwards and darken bits up and it'll make the colour pop. But for now, I just want to get the colour down onto the paper. So we've put a little bit of warm grey in this area here. And we're just going to follow that with the 20%. And we're not going to put much of this colour in because we're really squeezing it in, because it's a really little area. So we're just going to get that down and put some 10% grey over, and then the white. So as you can see, we do go over the colours we've put down, and we're doing light layers. It allows you to do that. Right, so I'm going to go back in with the darkest colour and just start to put some more of this colour down where I want it. And again, my pencil, what I'm using, to be honest, could do with being a bit more sharper, but I'm just going to make do with this because I don't want to eat away at my pencil. So I'm just going to put a little bit here. So I'm just following the grayscale. So down here, her hair is pretty dark. She's got a lot of grayscale. And I'm gonna have to sharpen it because it is getting a bit too blunt. So you might hear it snap in a minute. I'll try to do a lighter pressure with it. I'm definitely too heavy-handed for these Prismacolors when they're really sharp. Right, so I've put some of the warm grey in down here. And I'm just making sure I've got it going in both directions of the hair, up and down. So then we're going to go in with the 20% again. And just try to leave a bit of an highlight, even if you've got to squeeze them colours in. And again, some areas are going to be darker. It is just our hair is that how it goes towards the bottom, our hair is tending to be darker because there's obviously a lot more grayscale put into the picture. So we're going to go with the 10%. And we're just going to try to get whatever we can in. relieving highlights where possible. So same technique, just going over all our colours, running into the white highlight and leaving that space. Then we're going to fetch our white in and try to follow the line of the hair and just drag that white through everything. So this white really does lighten everything. It lights the grey, what we've put down, the warm grey. If you see that there, I have got a little bit of a wax build up. So again, that's why I would suggest to do it in lighter layers. So I'm just going to put this is going to be darker, so I'm just going to do it in the warm grey and my cool greys. And then go back in with that warm grey, just darken that up a bit. So you can go back in once you've done it and darken some areas with this warm grey. So if you wanted to darken some of these on a plait and you needed to blend it, just go back over it with all your colours. And these down here we can fill in with the greys and the cool greys. We don't need much of an highlight for these because it's going to be in dark. So we can just go over that. If you wanted, you can run your white through it. Right, let me see what you were seeing now. Right, I'm just gonna zoom you out so you can see the full picture. So this is the look that I'm aiming for. I'm just coming round a minute because I want to see what you actually can see in that view. So I don't know if you can see that in this light, but it's like a platinum silver. And that's the look what I'm going for with this picture. Like I said, you can always come back in and darken and blend over any bits, like for this bit for instance. If you wanted to blend over that bit, just go back in, fetch some of your cool greys down. So you could go back in with your 10% and your 20%. And you might want to fetch some of the colour and darken it. So if there's any way where you think that it'd look better a bit darker, just go back in with your colours. Let me have a look. Right, so as you see, we've got the lighter air up here coming down, and then it's kind of goes dark towards the bottom because there's a lot of grayscale all the way through to the bottom of her hair. And same with this side, we've got a few highlights, but we've got a lot of it that is darker. So just try to keep in mind that we want some highlights to keep the colour we're going for, and then any areas that we do need to darken, we can just go over when we've got all our colour down, and then we'll look at our picture and we'll know where we want some darker colours added. So you might want to darken just the top of the red up a little bit. Have a look. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. I think I might go back in and just in this area, just to fill it up a bit more. And then we can just go back in with our colours. Fetch that white in. So it's just a matter of doing it how you prefer your hair. So if you want it darker or lighter, just go back in and do it. Right, so we've got this side, so it's just the same. Same with the bottom as well. As you can see, we have got a lot. I'm just going to see if I can zoom you in a bit better to do this bit. So I'm just going to run the 20% warm grey through all the grayscale at the bottom, and again not putting too much of a pressure and doing some strokes, flicks longer than others, just running it through that grayscale. And as you can see, this bit here, it is really dark, so it is going to be darker towards the bottom, so don't worry too much. So here we're just going to slightly run the grey through, on areas that are not as dark. So rather than putting the colours from both directions in these strands, we're just covering the grayscale, and then we're probably going to go with the 20 and 10% and then have this in the highlight, because it isn't actually grayscaled. But if I were colouring this myself, I probably would have made this area darker at the top underneath the dragon's tail, because I would imagine that would be in shadow anyway. But we're just going how this picture's done in grayscale. So just follow the artist where she's put her darkest, where she's put her darkest colours. Or art, should I say. So she's put the grayscale in line art for us. Yeah, I actually really like this colour. I've ended up with doing a really light blonde. I did with French greys, so it was like the white hair, which again you have to leave a lot of highlight to do. And then I did warm greys, what were more like just your normal grey. It was kind of like a dullish grey colour. And then this one, which I just liked, I thought it were different. I thought it were a bit different because everyone seems to be rather doing it in the light blonde hair. You know, because to be fair, it does remind, this picture really, who does it remind you of? If you've seen Game of Thrones, you've definitely seen the Daenerys. And this image, she does look like her. And it's called Mother of Dragon as well. So it does, and I love Game of Thrones. So I did really want to do a like Daenerys, and I ended up doing the picture. And I like the hair, I like the skin, and then I ended up doing it in Sharpie markers and completely ruining it because they just won't blend very well. So I'm just getting all this dark area at the bottom out of the way. I'm just covering it all with this grey, the warm grey. Right, so then we can go in with the 20%. So we're going in with the cool grey, which is the 20%. And again, we're just dragging it down over where I've put the 30% warm grey. And unlike me, I do recommend you use a sharper pencil because you will get a better effect. So we're just going to drag this cool grey down to the bottom because we haven't actually got any darker grayscale down here, which is surprising. So like I said, this will be all it will be darker because it just is, unfortunately. I would prefer it if this were done a lot lighter, but it isn't. So again, just leave highlights everywhere that you can. Don't know if I've put any cool grey there. And please do excuse me because I know I'm doing it really quick and rough. So our hair is quite messy at the bottom. It's just how it's going to be. It looks a lot darker than the top. So let's see what it's going to do when we run bits of the other colours through. Hopefully when we add our white. So I'm just adding little bits of the 10% cool grey. Again, I would suggest you do it a lot neater than what I am. And just drag it through everything. Trying to leave little tiny bits of highlights. Right, so then we're going to get our white, and I'm just going to have to sharpen my pencil again, so please do excuse me. And I have got another white pencil, but I'm just trying to, I think my pencil's on its last legs and I haven't got a pencil extender, but I have got a spare white pencil. It's not a full one, I think it's like half a pencil, but I'm definitely going to have to order one. And again, I just snap it straight away as soon as I've sharpened it. You'll have to excuse me. So I'm just running this white through absolutely everything. I'm running the white through the greys into the highlight, what we've left spare. And just running it over all the grey, and it'll just lighten everything that we've put down up and hopefully just blend it out a little bit. Again, if you need to go over and darken any colours, just definitely recommend to do that. But for now, I'm just getting the colours down onto this page. Like little bits of that area, I think I'm going to go in with the 20% and darken that up a bit. Maybe fetch some of this warming. So I really do hope you can see this colour properly, because it is a lovely colour. So we've got that lovely silvery air. It is a gorgeous colour. And again, definitely, I keep saying it, but definitely as you finish the colour and you go in places and darken it all up, it will look even better because it'll pop. So we're going to come from this part and we're going to fetch it down now. So again, we're going to come in with our 30% warm grey. So we're coming in with the warm grey. And I'm just going to zoom you out so you can see everything. And we're just going to be doing this bit there. So actually, we'll just zoom you in so I can do this strand down here. So with our warm grey, we're going to go over all the areas very lightly. So you see how better it is with a sharp pencil. So if you were to do the full picture, doing really light strokes like this, you're probably going to end up with a really good effect. A lot more neater. If you just took your time a little bit. But to be honest, I'm really happy with that outcome. I kind of knew how I wanted her hair to turn out anyway. So I'm just going over everything. Here it's going to be pretty dark, so I won't really worry too much about this bit where the dragon is. And then we're going to fetch this colour up in the direction of the air. But do you see how much better it is with them flakes? But you always can go in and deepen up areas where you need to be. So I'm just fetching this colour through. I want this to be pretty light, so I'm trying to keep it really light flicks. And I have got a bit of skin there, skin colour on my picture. I'm just going to see if I can erase that a little bit, because I've got it onto me where I want it to be quite light. So again, coming in with the 20% cool grey, we're just going to fetch it slightly over everything, into the white highlight, different length strokes. We're going to leave a little highlight there. So again, just taking it over that dark grey what we've put down. So we're going to go with the 10% now and just do the same and just leave that highlight. So it's darker on the inside, so it don't matter if you haven't left an highlight, just around here. So it's just where you've got to think where your highlights are and where your dark areas is. And it's as simple as that. So as you can see, this hair is really easy and you can get this look for even doing it really quickly and messy like I have. So if you're confident with doing hair, you can do it how I have. You can just, well, you know what you're doing, you can do it quickly. But if you're not as confident, I'd definitely take your time. I'm just fetching this 10% grey up this strand here. And then again with the white pencil, just use it. And you can put an hard pressure on. But the white over everything does tend to give it that look. And it will start to get a wax build up when you're putting this white over everything as well. So just bear that in mind. So now we've got the full picture covered in the colour, and I'm hoping you can see that nice platinum looking colour. And I'm really happy with that. I really like how it's turned out. So we're just going to take some of this light blue and fetch it down here. And then go over with the white. So if you wanted to take your warm grey and just add it to where the darkest areas would go and the lines. So if you want any lines deepening up, just add it in. and it'll just start to put a bit of a pop back down, because when we have put our white over everything, it does tend to go over the line artwork a bit. So where it air meets in these places, if you want to just deepen them up and just add some dark shadows. So here, I would imagine these lines would be darker. I'm just going to darken this area up a bit. And then again, at the tips of a plaits also, would probably be a little bit more darker. Just right in the corners. Again, because we've put colour over at top, we might not be able to get a lot of layers down. So just deepening these lines up, and it's just making that colour pop a bit. I don't know if you can see that. And then again, if you wanted to dark any other areas up round the red, and I have actually gone over on mine on page, so just ignore that. So if you wanted to fill this bit in a bit closer to a red, just to get it a bit darker. I don't know if you can see that, but and then once you've done that, just make sure to go back over with your other colours and just blend it out a bit. I'm gonna fill this little bit in just at the back of a red ear. Make it a little bit darker. And then same again. So it's just round this crown bit, and then just go over with your white. So that's it. So that's the colour that we're going to get. But that is the colour. So I hope you like it. It's kind of like a platinum silver colour. But I really like it. I just think it turned out really well. And if you've seen me other videos, you have seen me other ones that I've done. And I'm just going to show you. So this is the difference in colours. What I've done. So we've got our platinum looking silver. And then we come to this and it's more of the grey. So this one, as you can see, it is totally different in colour. It is more of a warm tone to get that colour. And it's not got that bluish hue to it. Again, I would recommend just going in, darkening. You could probably darken these areas up and then do your highlight again. Anything that you need, and if you think you need to fix it, just go in and do it. I'm quite happy with how that looks. I'm really pleased with it. So I think I'm maybe going to leave that how it is. And I'm going to show you the other one that I did, and this is the white blonde hair. And as you can see, I really like this. I liked her lipstick, I liked her skin, I did like her hair, and then I completely obliterated the picture with the Sharpies, what I didn't like, and I did the background with Posca. To do this hair, I did French gaze, and I had to leave a lot of white space as well. Again, it's quite unfinished because I haven't put the French grey quite round a crown. Obviously she'd have looked better if she had that around the crown to make it darker and more realistic a little bit. But the actual colour of the hair, I did like. So, thank you for watching this video, and I hope you do like this colour. And so if you are following this colour along, then my next video is going to be concentrating on the dragon, and I think I'm going to be doing it in some red tones. And again, it's going to be Prismacolor Premier pencils. So I do hope you've enjoyed the colour on how I do my platinum silver hair. And thank you for watching.